Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Jackson Beck stars as Philo Vance in The Adventures of Philo Vance, going back December 27th, 1949. And Philo Vance getting in another weird case here. This episode is entitled The Identical Murder Case. Well, who gets murdered?
District Attorney Markham speaking.
Oh, is that so?
Hello, dear. Sorry, force of habit on the phone. Besides, how was I to know it was my wife?
You mean you couldn't tell by my ring? I'm surprised at you.
Well, it's about time somebody was surprised at me and not at Philo Vance, as people usually are. It's been giving me an inferiority complex. Thank you for nipping it, darling. Now, what do you want?
Nothing. Just thought perhaps you were working so hard you'd lost track of the time. It's 11:30.
It is? Wow, I did lose track of it all right. I had so many things to clear up down here at my office that I...
What's the trouble?
Someone's at the door, I think. I'll call you back, Edith.
All right. But don't work too hard, please. Goodbye.
Bye, dear. I'm coming. Hey, what...
Thank goodness I found you in.
Easy now.
Help me.
Hey, you're hurt pretty bad. Put your arm around my shoulder. That's it. Now, let's get over to this chair. There. Now, who are you and what happened to you?
I've been shot.
I'd better call a hospital. You wait right here while I get to the
Don't
phone.
bother, Markham. I'll never live till the ambulance gets here.
Hold your head up while... I know. It can't be.
My face surprised you, didn't it?
I should say it did. You're the image of Philo Vance.
I know. That's why they killed me.
I couldn't help it, Tommy. Now stop hitting me.
If I
ever get away from these two lugs holding me, you wouldn't slap me around that way.
gotta teach you that I won't tolerate mistakes, Joe. No mistakes. The one thing I won't tolerate is mistakes.
How could I tell? The guy... You showed me a picture of Philo Vance. I shot a guy I thought was Vance. He was the image of Vance, I tell you. Anybody would have thought it was Vance.
Let him go, boys. Joe, wait for me in the next room.
Sure. Sure, boss.
Mike, you better go with him to make sure he stays put and see that he stays there. Letting him go would be a mistake, and I won't tolerate mistakes.
Okay, Mr. Orchid. Come on, you.
Eddie, you stay with me.
Don't worry about Joey, boss. He'll be with me when you want him.
Yeah, I'm quite certain he will be. Eddie. Perhaps it was my mistake that let me send Joe to kill Philo Vance. I won't tolerate mistakes even if I make them. I certainly can't afford a second one. A Vance must be killed, otherwise he'll prove it was I who did the Hendricks job. Any suggestions on how we're to do it? I'll figure it out myself then. This time I'll plan it very carefully. And, just to make sure, I'll let you help me do the job. How about that, Eddie? Like that? Good. Now, while I figure out how this is going to be done, you go out and get me an orchid to bring to my girl, Penny. I've got to remember about Vance, but I don't want to forget about her.
Yes, operator, this is District Attorney Markham, and I'll hold the phone.
Hello, Markham.
Oh, Vance, where are you? I've been trying all day to reach you.
I'm in a little town about 300 miles from the city, Markham. And I think I've got good news.
Yes?
I've found a young fellow who admits being with Tommy Orchid when Orchid killed that man Hendricks last week.
Well, that's fine, but it's not important, Vance.
It isn't?
Not in view of what's happened here. Vance, a man was killed last night for one reason and one only. Because he looked like you.
What?
Sorry, Vance. That new secretary of mine put flowers on my desk this morning.
She'll learn about you and your allergy to flowers. But what about this man who was killed because he looked like me?
You hurry back and I'll tell you the whole story. It's very apparent that somebody thought he was getting you out of the way.
Yes, it is. And there's only one reason for getting me out of the way. That's because I was getting in the way.
Like the orchid, Penny?
It's beautiful, Tommy, but you don't have to bring me one every day.
Well, who says I don't? I'm Tommy Orchid, ain't I? I always bring my girl an orchid every day.
Believe me, that isn't the fascination you have for me. I could do without orchids.
But, not without me, huh? But you're not making any mistake, Penny. I don't tolerate mistakes. They're bad for business.
Let's forget business for a while, can't we?
Yeah, sure, right after we get a little matter out of the way. Ever hear of a man named Philo Vance?
Yes, definitely.
Think you can handle an assignment that concerns him?
Maybe.
You better be sure. I don't tolerate any mistakes, Penny. Not even from you.
Come in.
Vance, where are you?
I'm in my private office. Come in here, whoever you are.
Don't worry, I'm coming. Hello, Vance. I'm Tommy Orchid.
Oh? Sit down.
I'll do this standing up. Vance, lay off me.
How do you mean?
My boys find you grabbed some kid who used to work for me in a town called Centerville, about 200 or 300 miles from here. And that he talked about the Hendricks killing.
Your boys have pretty good information.
They don't make mistakes. I don't tolerate mistakes.
I think you made one by coming to my office. What do you want?
I just want to tell you what you know, and that's nothing. All you have is some punk kid saying I killed Hendricks. Just his word against mine, and me with a solid alibi, just in case.
I don't doubt your alibi or your reason for coming to see me. You are not threatening me by any chance?
Me? That would be a mistake, Vance, and I don't make mistakes. I could point out to you that a fellow who looked like you was killed yesterday. But that wouldn't mean anything to you, would it?
Nothing except that the man was killed by mistake by one of your gunmen. And that's a mistake I don't like, and I'm going to do something about right now.
That's pretty tough talk, Vance. You probably know about me. I don't carry a gun, so you think you can say anything you like.
I carry one. Here it is. But it's going over there in the corner now. Now, look, Orchid, you had an innocent man killed yesterday.
That's your opinion. Can you prove it?
I don't need any proof of what's going to happen now. I'm not the law. I don't have to handle you with gloves.
I don't think you can handle me at all, and this'll prove it.
You're down where you belong now, Orchid. Oh, no, you don't. You don't go crawling with that gun of mine. I'll get it first. Now, get up.
All right, Vance. I'm glad you didn't let me get to that gun. If you had, I'd have used it on you. And that would have been a mistake, and...
I know you don't tolerate mistakes. You made one when you came to see me, though.
Did I? I doubt it. Maybe I had a reason. But listen, and this is no maybe. You've got nothing on me, and you're never going to get anything on me that'll hold up in court, no matter how you try or what you do. I'm too smart for that. Remember what I said, Vance. I'm too smart for that, and you.
Hello.
Is this Philo Vance?
Yes?
My name's Penny Daly. Vance, what would you give to get the real dope on Tommy Orchid?
What are you getting for giving it to me?
I'm Tommy's girl, and he wants me to do something that concerns you. Only I'm afraid.
Of what?
It doesn't work out the way he wants, and it won't from what I've heard of you. He'll kill me, I know he will.
Where are you now?
In my apartment, 50 Lincoln Boulevard.
Stay where you are. I'll be right up, and we can get down to facts.
Eddie, don't it make no difference to you what the boss tells us to do? But Joey was our pal. He wanted jobs with us. And Tommy Orchid says to knock him off just 'cause he made one little mistake. And we do it.
We do it or we get it?
Yeah, I guess that's right. I don't never want to cross Tommy Orchid. That can't be no good. Hey, Eddie. Suppose one of us made a mistake. One of us. And Tommy says you and me's got to get knocked off. I wouldn't do that to you.
No?
No, why should I? You're my pal. Hey, look, Eddie. If Tommy ever says for you to give it to me, you wouldn't do it, would you? Well, you don't have to think about it, do you? What's there to think about? You wouldn't knock me off for no reason just because the boss says so, would you?
No? I'd knock you off in a minute, Mike, for no other reason than to keep in practice. Just remember that.
Just a minute. Who's there?
Miss Daly, I'm Philo Vance.
Oh, wait a second. Come in, Vance, quickly.
Now, there's no need to be nervous, Miss Daly. If you'll tell me what I think you can tell me, we'll have Tommy Orchid in jail before the day is over.
Good. What is it you want to know?
First of all, why you've decided to talk.
Because I have a strange desire to keep on living. Look, Vance, what I know about Tommy, I never wanted to know. The jobs he's pulled, his gang, all of that, I never wanted to know it, but I do.
I see your point. And as long as you do, you're a constant threat to the safety of Mr. Orchid.
That's right. Now he wants me to get you out of the way. That's an assignment, and I don't want any part of it. Only I don't know what to do.
You did exactly what you should have done. You called me. Now, I'll tell you what I want.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
A man named Hendricks was killed a week ago. I know Tommy Orchid did that job. I found one of the boys who worked for him in a little town, and he told me after I coaxed him. But that's not proof.
Well?
Tommy has an alibi for the time Hendricks was killed. I want you to get proof that that alibi is a phony. Can you do it?
I think so. If I could find out what alibi he's using.
You can do that, too. Very easily, unless I underrate your charms. Or unless Tommy Orchid does.
I'll have the information for you. Then what do I do?
Wait here. District Attorney Markham and I will be up at 11 tomorrow. Is that all right? Can you be here?
Fine. I'll walk you to the door.
Thank you. Keep away from Tommy Orchid, and don't forget about 11 o'clock tomorrow.
Don't worry. I'll keep away from him. Goodbye, Mr. Vance. And thanks.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Okay to come out now, Tommy?
Good work, Penny. Very good work.
What else did you expect, Tommy?
Nothing else. You were very convincing. In fact, you almost convinced me. Now, hiding in another room is kind of tough when the conversation between two people can mean the chair for a guy.
I didn't make any mistake, did I?
No. I'm glad you didn't. You know why.
Okay, then. What happens now?
Now we'll wait until tomorrow morning. Vance and the DA will be here, and you tell Vance where he can find all the evidence he needs to grab me.
Where will that be?
I trust you, baby, but not that much. Wherever it is, it's the place where Vance won't get any evidence, but where Eddie and I will get him.
December 27th, 1949, Philo Vance on Classic Radio Theater. Classic Radio Theater on your favorite station, December 27th, 1949, Philo Vance.
This is District Attorney Markham. The murder case we're working on is a week old, and Vance has all the information he wants to pin it on Tommy Orchid, but he still lacks evidence. He is enlisted as an ally Penny Daly, former sweetheart of Tommy's, immediately after an innocent man was killed merely because he looked like Vance. Certain that this is the break we've been waiting for in trying to get Orchid, Vance and I have gone to call on Miss Daly at her apartment. It is 11 o'clock.
You have all the information we want, Miss Daly?
Practically all, Mr. Vance.
Excuse me. Miss Daly, we'll want to put you in police custody for a while. You won't mind that?
Mind it? I'd love it. Only you can't do it until this afternoon, Mr. Markham.
Why not?
Because I haven't the one thing I need most. The name of the man alibying for Tommy. I know he lives in the suburbs someplace, but I won't know where till this afternoon. I have to get all my information from Tommy's boys. You said to stay away from Tommy, and I haven't seen him in 2 days.
That's all right. We can phone you then. Right, Vance?
Yes. Let's go, Markham. I'll phone you later, Miss Daly.
Do that. And thank you both for your trouble.
That's quite all right. Goodbye, Miss Daly.
Goodbye.
Well, Vance,
Well, it seems that we've finally caught up with Tommy Orchid, Markham.
Yes, it does, and I'm very happy about the whole thing.
I'm not.
What?
Markham, a man as smart as Tommy Orchid must be caught in the act of killing somebody if you're going to be sure you get a conviction. I'm going to make sure we catch him doing just that.
Oh, really? Who is he going to be killing?
Who? Me, of course.
You did a good job, Penny. I'm proud of you.
Thanks, Tommy. I was pretty convincing. Vance trusts me completely.
What a sap. He's supposed to be smart. We'll take care of him, Eddie. Uh-huh.
What makes him so talkative? Tommy, Vance ought to be phoning soon. What do I do then?
Penny, you didn't make any mistakes when you talked to Vance and Markham, did you?
Tommy.
Okay. Just asking, that's all. I want to make sure. I won't tolerate mistakes, you understand that?
Anybody works for you understands that, Tommy.
I hope so. Oh, get that, Penny. And, for being a good girl, I'll bring you 2 orchids every day.
Be quiet now, both of you. Now, I just give Vance that address and tell him what you told me, Tommy, that's all?
That's right, but make it convincing.
Leave it to me. Hello?
This is Philo Vance. Is everything all right?
Yes. Vance, listen. Tommy Orchid's worrying about his alibi. That fellow I told you about.
Go on.
The man's name is Rogers. He has a cabin out by Lake Laura. Tommy's going out to see him tonight.
Good. Now, you do this. Tell him that I phoned you and said I was going out there earlier.
Uh-huh.
Tell him I found out about Rogers somehow, and see that Tommy goes out there after me.
I think that will be easy.
Good. Now, here's something that will be a little more difficult. Tommy will come after me, I'm sure. After he's sure I'm there alone, which I will be. You'll have a gun, but you see that there are no bullets in that gun. Can you do it?
Say yes, Penny.
Why, yes, I can do it. Don't worry, Vance. Everything will be the way you want it.
In that case, Miss Daly, I'm quite certain everything will be the way you want it, too.
What are we doing in this shop, Vance?
Making a few purchases I'll need tonight, Markham, that's all.
I wish you'd let me go with you out to that Rogers cabin.
No good, Markham. I won't need you, and if you or the police are anywhere near, Tommy Orchid won't show up. I can handle this all right, I'm sure.
I certainly hope so.
Yes, sirs. What can I do for you, please?
To be perfectly honest, I haven't the slightest idea. Vance?
I'd like a piece of tarpaulin about 10 yards square. Black, if you have it.
Now, we have it, sir.
Good. How long will it take you to put a wooden border on it?
And you want wood on all 4 sides?
On 2 sides. Give me the other 2 pieces of wood. I'll put them on myself when I get to the place I'm taking the tarpaulin.
I can have it for you, sir, in about, half an hour. Anything else?
Yes, I want a pulley and about 25 yards of rope.
Mm-hmm.
And I want it painted black.
But painted black?
Don't look at me. I don't understand why either.
Painted black, if you please. Can you have that in a half hour, too?
Well, sure, I guess so. That'd be all?
Yes, I think so. Thank you.
Now, Vance, why do you want the stuff you just ordered?
Don't you know?
Don't I? How could anybody know?
Well, if you can't figure it out, Markham, then neither can anyone else. And that includes our friend Tommy Orchid, who has a surprise waiting for him.
Oh, hi, Eddie. Come on in. Sit down.
Uh-huh.
Hey, what's the matter, Eddie? Hey, Tommy tell you to come see me?
Uh-huh.
Well, what for?
He gave me a message for you.
For me? Hey, wait a minute, Eddie. I didn't do nothing wrong. I didn't make no mistakes.
Tommy says you did.
What did I do?
Something about Joey's body. They found it.
I didn't do nothing with it, Eddie. I just dug a hole for it out in the country like I was told to do.
They found it, and they knew it was Joey.
I just couldn't leave him laying there, Eddie. I had to do something else. I got a rock, a piece of board. I put it over his head after I buried the body, that's all.
You put his name on the board?
Well, sure. He was a pal, wasn't he? Bad enough we killed him. You want we should have left him laying there without nobody knowing about who he was? Okay, then. I didn't do nothing wrong, did I, Eddie?
Not according to me. But according to the boss, you made a mistake, and...
Eddie, don't!
And the boss don't tolerate mistakes.
Eddie, you did a very fine job on our ex-ally, Mike.
Thanks, boss.
I hope I can do as well on the assignment I've given myself. The The removal of Philo Vance.
That's where we're headed for right now, huh?
Yeah. We're going to the old Rogers cabin where Mr. Vance is waiting for me. Only, he thinks I'll arrive alone and with my gun unloaded.
You planned this good, Mr. Orchid.
It was well planned, Eddie. Very well planned. I don't tolerate mistakes, and I definitely won't make them myself.
What doesn't sound good for Philo Vance? December 27th, 1949, Jackson Beck as Philo Vance on Classic Radio Theater.
Here's a great thing to consider doing right now before the end of the year. Call Medishare and find out just how much you would save by switching to Medishare, the affordable alternative to health insurance. When you call, you'll get some good news and probably be very happily surprised, too. The typical family saves $500 a month, but you might save even more. It's so worth it to at least find out. And you'll see why more than 400,000 people are already members. Medishare is a Christian community that's shared more than $4 billion in each other's healthcare costs. It really is remarkable, and they're very easy to talk to. And here's the thing. If you join before the end of the year, they'll waive your new member fee. That's another $170 you'll save. I'll give you the number here in a second. The call, and you'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline is December 31st, so call now. You'll save even more. Call 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE. 833-34-BIBLE.
Now on Classic Radio Theater, the conclusion of Philo Vance starring Jackson Beck. This originally broadcast December 27th, 1949.
What happens if this Philo Vance ain't right there waiting for us like a sitting duck?
Eddie, listen. As far as he knows, my girlfriend Penny's working with him. She put on a good act, a great act. It would have convinced me. It certainly convinced Philo Vance that she was double-crossing me. We've got to get rid of him before he proves definitely that I killed Hendricks. This is my chance to do just that. Now, the Rogers cabin is miles from the nearest town. Nobody will hear me kill Vance. Nobody will see me remove the body. All right, step on it, Eddie. I'm in a hurry to get this over with.
Sit down, Miss Daly. Please sit down.
Look, D.A., what was the idea of having the police drag me down to your office?
To be perfectly honest with you, it was Philo Vance's idea to have you here.
Vance? Oh, well, that's different. In that case, I don't mind being here. I'm working with Vance, you know that.
Yes, Vance said you were very helpful.
Oh, well, did Vance say what he wanted me here for?
No, he said he'd tell you when he got back from the cabin of someone named Rogers.
He told you he'd tell me when he got back, eh?
Yes.
I'm liable to have a very long wait.
Okay, Eddie, just leave everything to me. We walk in the door together. I have my gun on Vance, and it'll be over in a minute.
Well, let's go. That's the cabin. What are we waiting for?
Nothing. Ready? Now. All right, Vance, stay right where you are.
Mr. Tommy Orchid and friend. Come right in, gentlemen.
Stick close to me, Eddie. Well, Vance, this is it. We're not going to waste any words before we get it over with. Stand up.
What for? I'm comfortable sitting here.
Where's the light switch, boss? It's tough seeing him good in the dark.
We see him well enough, and we hear him, don't we? Get up, Vance.
Oh, I'll get up. But it's only fair to warn you that when I do, I'm coming toward you. And you're not going to be able to stop me.
No?
No. You see, that gun you're holding isn't loaded.
Oh, it isn't? You still think that, Vance?
No, I guess I've been misinformed.
All right, Vance, on your feet. That's good. Walk toward me, slowly.
If you say so.
Hey, Eddie, what's wrong? I don't know. We're covered with some kind of cloth. Shoot your way out to us. That won't do us any good.
No, it won't, gentlemen. And this little tap on the heads that you're going to get won't do you any good either. Well, that does it, I guess. It'll be quite a job carting you two down to headquarters, but it'll be worth it when I tell Markham how I knew I was being double-crossed by Miss Daly and how this little trap of mine was worked. Markham, you remember the tarpaulin and black rope I bought in that store?
Yes, you had the rope painted black, didn't you, Vance?
That's right. Well, when I got to the Rogers cabin, I strung that tarpaulin up to the ceiling with a pulley, carried the rope down to the floor, and kept my foot on it.
Oh, I see. When Tommy Orchid and his gunmen came in and ordered you to walk toward them, naturally, your foot came off the rope and the tarpaulin came down from the ceiling and over their heads.
Exactly. I made sure the cabin was dark enough so the trick would work.
One thing I still don't know, though, Vance. You had every reason to believe that Tommy Orchid's girlfriend, Penny Daly, was double-crossing him and telling you the truth. How did you know she was lying?
You told me, Markham.
Well, I'm very glad that I told you. How?
That allergy of yours to flowers. You know how you sneeze when flowers are in a room or have been in a room within a few hours?
Yes.
Well, when you and I saw Miss Daly, she said she hadn't seen Tommy Orchid in 2 days. Yet you sneezed while you were in her room, which meant that she had had an orchid in her apartment just before we came in and had removed it.
And inasmuch as Tommy Orchid got his name because he always brought his girls an orchid every day, you surmised that she was lying and that she had seen Tommy that day, and that the whole thing was a plan to get rid of you.
That's right. A combination of my surmisings and that tarpaulin resulted in our having a perfect attempted murder case against Tommy.
For which I thank you, of course. Well, I'm glad this is practically over. I'm sure we'll get a conviction against Orchid in the Hendricks killing and in the murder of the man who looked like you.
A fatal resemblance, Markham. Put him right in the middle of this situation.
Yes, but it was because of him, Vance, that we reached the end of the identical murder case.
December 27th, 1949, Philo Vance on Classic Radio Theater. Don't forget our podcasts have moved. You can find them now, Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. That's Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Make a note of it. Now on Classic Radio Theater, Part 2 of the 5-part yours truly Johnny Dollar story, The Forbes Matter. Why did he take all that money? We'll see if Johnny can figure it out. This originally broadcast December 27th, 1955.
From Hollywood, it's time now for
Johnny Dollar.
Rob Elliott here, Mr. Dollar. Century style?
I know, Mr. Elliott. How are you today?
Terrible, Mr. Dollar. I feel terrible. I'm calling from the district attorney's office.
You there about Sheldon Forbes?
Yes, I had no idea I'd have to act. They want me to sign a complaint.
Well, that's pretty usual, Mr. Elliott. Forbes admitted taking the money from your firm. He's guilty as charged. You're the injured party. They want to get on with the prosecution.
Oh, dear.
So you do whatever they say, Mr. Elliott.
Well, will it affect my payment at all? Payment of the claim?
No, not a bit. Your check's on the way to you right now.
Oh, that's a relief. Now, how about you? Are you going back to Hartford? Should I thank you now?
You can thank me, but I'm not going back.
What?
My job's just beginning. I have to recover the money for the insurance company.
Tonight and every weekday night, Bob Bailey in the transcribed adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to the Continental Adjustment Bureau, 418 Elizabeth Avenue, Hartford, Connecticut. The following is an accounting of expenditures during my investigation of the Forbes Matter theft of nearly $5,000. Expenses continued. Item 4, I think it is, $10, deposited on a rented car. First stop, Central Division Headquarters, where I was informed that Sheldon Thomas Forbes had been formally arraigned and was being held in the city jail. Second stop, an address on 56th Street. Second floor next to a dental laboratory. And on the door it said Edward Gumby, attorney at law. And below it said, walk in. So I did.
Hello out there.
Mr. Gumby?
Yes, sir. Come on in. It's warmer in here.
Edward Gumby was standing in front of a gas heater in the inner office, which consisted of nothing more than a telephone, a desk, and a dozen law books. He was a medium-sized man, about 40 or so, a little tired, a little seedy, but he had a nice grin.
Dollar?
Yeah, that's right, Mr. Gumby. You don't know me. I'm with Continental Adjustment Bureau, representing Delaware Eastern Liability in this Forbes matter.
Oh, yes, of course.
Understand you're representing Sheldon Forbes, is that right?
Well, I don't know whether it is or not, Mr. Dollar. I happened to be in magistrate's court this morning when Forbes was arraigned. I took him on because he didn't have counsel and the court appointed me. I don't know whether he took me on or not. Sit down.
Oh, thanks.
New York is the coldest city in the world. Absolutely the coldest when it's cold.
Yeah, it sure is. Look, I don't want to take up a lot of your time, Mr. Gumby.
Time? I've got time, boy. That's all I've got. What's on your mind?
Your client, mostly. He's admitted guilt, but of course we're interested in recovering the money he stole.
$4,285.
Yeah.
Well, I can't blame your company for that.
Well, prosecution could probably be stopped if we made recovery.
Sure.
I thought I'd tell you this in case you had any influence on Forbes.
Well, I appreciate that, Mr. Dollar. It's very understandable. But as I say, I was court appointed. I really haven't talked to him yet. So I'll have to confess I don't have any influence with him at all yet. Struck me as a nice sort of chap.
Mm-hmm.
Don't quite get it myself. Probably an explanation for it. Married once, I understand, and widowed right after the war. He worked for Century Styles about 5 years. Have you talked to the police yet?
No.
I understand they're going to work on it today. Maybe they'll have a little more information for you about the recovery. They'll probably find the money in an old sock or something like that. That's the way these things generally run, you know.
I agreed with Mr. Gumby. That was truly the way these kind of cases usually ran. And I was a little surprised that afternoon when I spoke to the officers at the city jail. They reported that a complete search of Forbes' apartment and automobile unearthed nothing like the missing money. They further reported that they had found no reliable evidence of any material possessions that the money could have been spent for. My next stop, city jail.
He won't tell you anything. Kept his trap shut all the time he's been in here. As far as we've been able to find out, no previous record, no background. We're checking his prints with Washington. I don't know about this one. You know, ex-cop-wise. Know what I mean? Won't give a police officer the time of day. That means he could have been in before.
On the other hand, it could mean he's just scared.
That, too. Well...
Well? Now what?
Take it easy, Forbes. This is Mr. Dollar. He wants to talk to you.
Hello, Forbes.
Hi.
See you later, Dollar.
Yeah, thanks, Sergeant.
Just give a yell when you're finished.
Right. They treating you okay?
Swell. What do you want?
I want to talk to you.
Well, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to anybody.
Why not?
I just don't want to see anybody. That's all.
Now, you're acting like a baby, Forbes. You'll have to talk to somebody.
Don't lecture me, Mr. Insurance Investigator. I've had all the lectures I want. From myself. I don't know why you're here. I thought we settled our business yesterday. The whole thing's just a technicality. I've been arraigned, they've got my confession. I'll go into court, and they'll give me the business. What are you doing in here, anyway? Swell day to be outside.
Yeah, it is. Want to smoke?
Oh, thanks. Well, why are you here?
To help you out of this mess, if you'll let me.
That's funny.
Not a bit.
Why should you want to help me?
Well, it's not because I have any use for you, mister. You're nothing to me but a guy who stole a pile of money. My job is to get it back. $4,285.
Oh, that.
Yes, that. Now, how about it, Forbes?
Isn't it enough that I'm in jail? That I'll go to prison?
That's enough for the police, but not for my insurance company.
Oh, it's too bad about your insurance company.
No, it's too bad about you. You're being foolish. A whole or partial recovery can have a great deal to do with what happens to you from now on. 3 years is the minimum sentence, you know. 12 years maximum. Now, is it worth it?
Sure. Sure, it's worth it. And I don't want to be foolish anymore. But I have been foolish. I took it and I spent it. Every dime of it. There's no way to pay it back.
What did you spend it on?
It doesn't make any difference.
May make a lot of difference. You can redeem it, turn it back.
No, I can't.
Why did you take the money? All right, look, your salary's close to $100 a week. You're single. Wasn't that enough to live on?
Why don't you get out of here? I don't have anything to tell you.
Ever been in trouble before?
Huh?
Under another name in another state?
No,
They consider backgrounds like that when a man comes up to be sentenced. Forbes, this is your first offense.
I know.
Are you trying to shield someone?
Why don't you go away?
Have you been trying the market? Did you gamble it?
No. Just leave me alone. I won't tell you a thing.
If you bought something with it or gave it to someone, if it can be recovered in some part.
No, I tell you. Just go away and leave me alone.
I'd like to. Believe me, I would. You're a thief, Forbes, and you're going to get what's coming to you, but I can't leave you alone.
Listen.
No, you listen to me. If I don't get the information I want from you, I'll get it elsewhere. I'm going to be very honest with you. Eastern Delaware wrote a comprehensive policy on Century Styles promising to indemnify them in full for every loss caused by fire or theft on their premises. In case you didn't know, Forbes, an insurance company won't take the word of some guy sitting in a jail cell feeling sorry for himself where there's cash to be recovered. Now, you swiped it within the last month. You have something to show for it somewhere, somehow. Whatever you spend it on, or whoever you spend it on, remember that money is the same as stolen property. A car, or a diamond ring, or something. Now, if you give it to someone or spend it, when it wasn't yours, it's still redeemable, and we mean to redeem it. All right, now, what do you have to say?
This won't do you any good. Don't try to bulldoze me. I'm no punk caught crawling into a drugstore window late at night. I'm a college graduate. I've been in the business world 10 years or better. I know what I want to tell you and what I want to keep to myself. And I don't want to talk to you about this. You or anybody else. I can't make it any clearer than that. Do you understand? And there's no way or no person who can make me talk about it. I took the lousy money. I've admitted that. I did a bad job of it. You caught me. I confessed. And you've got me. Now, what more is there? That's the whole story.
Okay. Have it your way, Forbes.
Go away. Just go away.
On my way out, I saw his attorney, Edward Gumby, on his way in to see Forbes. I waited around the sergeant's desk. Accidentally, on purpose, I glanced at the admitted visitors register. Only 2 people had contacted Forbes since his arrest, Gumby and myself. That struck me as odd. A glance at his folder named no close relatives, named no one, in fact. I was thinking about that when Gumby came out from his visit. Gumby looked worn out.
Hiya.
Hi. How'd you do?
Not so good.
Hey, tell me something. He asked you to contact a girl or anyone?
Nope. I don't think he has a girl. I don't think he has anybody. You want some coffee?
Yeah, good idea. We slushed across the street and found a diner. Expense account, item 5, 42 cents. Coffee and sinkers for Ed Gumby and myself.
I think you're going to strike out, Dollar.
I already have.
And I think I have too.
Huh?
You know what I've been talking to him about in there all this time? The same thing as you, restitution. But he won't open his mouth about it. He did say one thing, though. He wants me to waive a jury trial and go up for sentencing.
What?
Yeah. Plead guilty and take it. He's sure to get at least 3 years. What can I do?
Yeah. Got any ideas?
Well, I've got a lot of ideas, Dollar, and all of them make me sick inside. That boy's not a criminal. He took that money because he was desperate about something. You know that from the awkward way he took it. He spent it on something, and he won't talk about it. But now he's about to ruin his whole life, in spite of what you or I or anybody else tries to do for him. All he has to do is give back the money or promise restitution or call up a friend and borrow it. With his clean background, the court would listen to a mercy plea.
You told him all this?
I told him. I told him and you told him, and what does he do? He waives his right. I tell you, I'm going to hate to file this waiver, but I've got to do it.
Yeah, how you feel? More coffee?
No. No, thanks. Dollar, you know what Forbes is?
What?
He's something I call a calendar job.
Calendar job?
33 years old. Now think about that. Born with one war just ended. Raised in a depression, and then bangle, another war. You might say the first 25 years of his life, nothing but war and depression, or the effects thereof. A calendar job. Well, apparently it's what he wants. But, Mr. Dollar, I'm going to hate to see him go to prison.
You know something, Mr. Gumby? So am I.
There'll be another intriguing episode in our story of the Forbes Matter tomorrow.
Tomorrow, a sudden twist in the case that throws all the usual theories right out the window. The unexpected. Join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, is transcribed in Hollywood. Written by John Dawson, it is produced and directed by Jack Johnstone. Be sure to join us tomorrow night, same time and station, for the next exciting episode of Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Roy Rowan speaking.
Sad story, isn't it? December 27th, 1955, Yours truly, Johnny Dollar on Classic Radio Theater. All of the Yours truly, Johnny Dollar shows are available through Ted at RadioMemories.com. Give him a visit, would you please? You can find all those shows available on CD, cassette, or flash drive for your computer. Ted at RadioMemories.com. Thank this radio station. Support their advertisers. It is their kindness and courtesy that allows us to be with you each and every time we're here on your favorite station. My webpage is classicradio.stream. If you'd care to come give me a visit, drop me a note. Learn more about building your own classic radio collection. You can hear our shows not only there, but also on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Spreaker. So if you miss a day here on your station, you don't have to miss a show. Just search for USA Classic Radio Theater. I'm Wyatt Cox. Have a great day. Tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater on your favorite radio station.